Hey guys, how's it going? This is Skabones with Colorado Punk Rock Army. I'm here with the lovely Lala,
Hi.
and we're proud to introduce and launch our brand new podcast called the Colorado Punk Rock Army, the podcast. Is that what we decided to call it?
No.
What was it again?
Punk rock podcast.
Oh, that's right, because you were going to say how many times can you say punk rock in one episode?
Yes, and it's appearing as though we're up to like almost 100 now.
Wow. All right.
No, just kidding.
It's a good way to launch it off.
Thanks for tuning in. This is our very first one. We're super excited about what we're getting ready to do.
So let's talk about Colorado Punk Rock Army real quick while I've got you captivated. So Colorado Punk Rock Army started in late summer 2016. The infamous Mohawk Andy and I had gone to some shows and realized that the attendance was kind of low, and we were like, wow, these local bands, they kick ass, but nobody's here. So we started Colorado Punk Rock Army to give all the underdogs a voice out there in the noise of mainstream Taylor Swift's, Rihanna's, Coldplay. But that's basically who CPRA is now. Now we have a Facebook page, Instagram with a large following. Many thanks to you guys who do that. Our very own TV show. And now the podcast. What is it?
Punk rock podcast.
Okay. So now that that's out there. So how are you today, Lala?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little bummed.
Why?
I don't
What's going
know.
on? Coronavirus got you down?
Probably. That, and I had a really sour PBR earlier, and my stomach is just, I don't know.
I think part of your problem was PBR.
More than likely.
There's only one time I will ever drink a PBR, and it has to be ridiculously cold on a ridiculously hot day. Otherwise, don't give me that trash.
I'm probably going to lose all credibility, but I prefer Coors Light.
Oh, no. Hey.
I grew up on it, It's one of those where it was easy to get and cheap, and my grandpa worked for Coors, so, we always had loads and loads of Coors Light in the house.
No, it's good stuff.
But anyhow, so why March, I guess, is the question for kicking off the CPRA podcast. I mean,
well, I like to think first and foremost it's because it is the month that is in which my birthday lies in.
All things that are sacred.
Yes.
And I'm only saying that because you have a huge pair of shoes on. Not that your feet are big, just
No,
that you have a nice chokla. Is that how you say
My
it?
chunklas.
Yeah, I don't want to get smacked in the head because
No.
those things are pretty much boomerangs. So.
Exactly. Nope, my birthday and
Well, my heritage is Irish.
mine too.
Well,
I'm half.
I don't honestly want to know what ancestry says because I'm probably more something else than I'd like to be. So you could call me a fake Patty.
We actually did mine, and I am exactly half and half.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I should probably check mine.
Do it. What have you got to lose? Other than maybe your Irish heritage to find out you're actually German.
I know that I'm a little bit English, a lot Irish, and German as well. So
You're a white boy.
thus the giant forehead, which you can't see on the podcast, but you can see it on the TV show.
Nope, you're our good old resident white boy. We'll keep you though.
So, while that we're actually on that subject, one of the reasons that I love Celtic music in general is because it's very folk. And the way that the Irish express themselves through folk music shows a lot about their struggles, whether it was during the famine, the Great Famine, during the uprisings against the English. They always have a great way of telling their stories, and a lot of that type of songs actually came with them when they came to America during many of the migrations. You can see it a lot in like Arlo Guthrie, even Johnny Cash for that matter. But anyhow, do you want to get started with our first band, or should we chat some more about?
We can do it. We call it Narny music.
Narny music.
Narny, narny, narny,
Well,
narny, narny. It's narny music.
Yeah, and I mean that's the old traditional
Right.
Celtic music, which is it's you're right. It's a lot of mandolin.
Narny.
And some people absolutely love it. I like a little bit of it, but I agree. It gets a little too narny here and there, and I start doing a jig, and people just start staring at me.
No, I actually don't mind it at all. I kind of like it. There's this place in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where we used to go and get fish and chips sometimes called the Druid. And in the corner, they would always have like these little Narny bands, and there was a dog running around, and the fish would actually still come out in newspaper, and two of the guys in the back would speak Gaelic. I used to love going there. It was one of my favorites.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, what is your favorite place to get fish and chips in Denver?
I'm a big fan of GB's.
I like GB's too, although...
And their curry sauce?
I don't
so
like
good.
Curry is so nasty to me.
Love their curry sauce.
Mine actually used to be, out of all places, Katie Mullins on 16th Street Mall. It's gone now. They went bankrupt. Absolutely loved it. Fido's had great fish and chips. Other than that, I actually went to Old Chicago's with my wife a couple weeks ago and had by far the worst fish and chips I've ever had. And I was...
Well, you were at Old Chicago, so that should have been your first clue.
My next stop is actually Clancy's because they're having their big St. Patrick's Day celebration. 13th, 14th, and 15th, and 17th.
Oh, nice.
Of this month. So
my favorite thing to get for the St. Patrick's Day tradition is blood pudding. I like
that's
eating.
Great.
Yeah, black and white is my favorite.
My mom makes a mean corned beef and hash as well.
Mm-hmm. But I've recently gone vegetarian, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Actually...
Oh, you've gone vegan, you?
No, I've not gone vegan. I'm not going to be that person. Actually, what we call ourselves is a sometimes-atarian, because every once in a while, I've been known to still dabble in the meat department. So I'm probably going to break the rule and have... I like... we go to Casey's. They have really good black and white. Cool. Over here in Stapleton, so it's pretty good.
Well, and being a vegetarian, I just have to wonder, because I know that every time I've tried to go that direction, I have some issues where I have to drop the brown snakes off at the pool, or maybe or go to the river bowels. I don't know. So Ferda,
I haven't had any. I mean, I don't know why we're going this direction, but I haven't had any issues with that. I haven't really eaten meat since January. So.
I've been binging Letterkenny, so
I see.
I apologize. I'm catching up to everybody else that was watching it like a year ago.
Yeah, no, I've already finished that, but it's good. It's really good. I recommend it. It's a good show. So anyways, let's do your first song.
Okay, so I'm gonna introduce the Rumjacks. They're originally from Australia. They were one of the very first bands that I really got into Celtic punk rock. I love all things Celtic punk, including Dropkick, 1916, so much. And we try not to put that all over our page all the time. I have to draw myself back and not post it frequently. But this song is actually the Rumjacks, and it's actually called Barred for Life, and it's on the album Sober and Godless.
Nobby wasn't shit for praise, though everybody loved him to his boots for all his pains. Dirty racist pig was no friend of mine. I'm glad I won't be drinking there again. I'm just a regular boy, looking for a rock and roll and not too many that take pride and joy in working hard to live a life less ordinary. I don't wanna die in this town. I smash it up for tearing me down and leave you to yourself. You can fight like cats and dogs at college on the shell explosive walls. Chronically unemployed, nice and tall, sort of smart, kind of you've had enough.
So I like all the little double entendre they did with their name there. Bard for life, like they could be a bard, or they've been barred for life.
So
very nice.
If you listen to the words, and I don't know, go Google them, but I think we all have one of those friends that strayed away from us and maybe our group that we're in, and went to the dark side. And when I mean to the dark side, I mean extreme right-wing fascism. And that's one of the reasons why I love this song, is because I've had some friends in my past that went in that direction. And I don't mean went conservative. I mean went ultra right-wing, scary, disgusting conservative. And I don't care for those types of people myself. I'd like to kick them in the teeth.
I don't think anybody does.
No.
Except for themselves. And even then, I don't think they can stand themselves either.
Well, and the one thing that's great about Denver right now is maybe back in the 90s that Nazi presence was very strong, and now we've really pushed it down. We've really, the punk scene, the rock scene, we've all kind of gathered together to say, you're not welcome in this town.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how many people have stepped up and kind of kicked people out. I was proud of Pears when they came and had that whole thing, and they were like, we're done until this guy's out. Like, that was great. The amount of work that John's been putting into Streets, I think, is good.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I think everybody's really trying to do their part to, just sort of say, look, this is not behavior we're going to tolerate.
Well, and Streets is a great bar. I mean, Josh Fenley did that mural up on the wall, and I mean, it not only encapsulates what Streets is about, but the city of Denver as well, kind of in the coloring and everything. But I remember back when we started promoting shows in 2017 maybe, and we posted a show at Streets, and the first comment was, "Oh, you mean that White Power bar?" And I was like, that, yeah. I was like, "No, man. When was the last time you've been there?"
We've got so many great bars though right now. Like, not that punk is bar culture. In fact, I really hate that about that. But and I'll go off on my DIY all ages tangent in a minute. But
sure.
As far as like the bar scene goes, like I really like Three Kings. I think they do a fantastic job over there. I really like Bar. I think they do a great job. Lion's Lair, Lost Lake. I think as far as like giving us, I hate using this term, but giving us punks a place to sort of...
Oh, and the High Dive as well.
Yeah. Sort of give us a place to sort of call home, I think has really been... It's nice. We went through sort of a dry spell there where there wasn't a whole lot of places that, was getting good music in for a while. Especially when that whole thing with the Mission and everybody getting bought out and switched around. Oh my God, that was so awful. I mean, big props to the Oriental to finally have a place for us to get all of our shows back. Because I'd say for a good 6-8 months, there was a lot of shows that were everywhere. They were going to the Springs instead of coming here. It was awful. Well, lucky for the people in the Springs, but...
Well, but I mean, you mentioned the Mission, and I want to just bring up that we're a local, and we believe in our locals, and we don't necessarily always agree with what the corporations say. In fact, we're kind of against them sometimes because they have a tendency to to not represent the locals well. And not that they do that always, but the problem is they're not looking for a good band to put on. They're looking for the same band they know that will bring them money. So the problem with that is it doesn't really give other great local bands the exposure to a bigger crowd than they would normally get. But make sure you stay tuned in a future episode, because we are actually going to do an episode on DIY booking. I'm not going to actually go into too much detail now, just because it's a very big subject and there's many routes on that. But
yeah, you know me, you know me, but not everybody does. I'm a huge DIY fan, and I'm a huge supporting of all ages. I think sometimes I get a little bit high horsey about that. I think it's ridiculous that, the things the kids are doing today, mad respect. Like, I hear so many, I hear so many old punks that are like, the kids today. Go out to a kid's show and they are going to kick your old ass.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, they are.
It's for sure.
I think the band I'm going to introduce here in just a minute has done a fantastic job. The Amazing Flying Dumbasses. Yep. They do a great job. Tuckney has done a great job. I mean, there's just...
Worthless Commodity.
DGP. There's just tons and tons of amazing young bands. And the talent is raw and the heart is pure. And it's everything that we fell in love with punk rock about in the first place.
Exactly.
And so that's really rad to sort of see a lot of that.
And, I'll never forget when I went to the Propaganda show that was at the VFW on Santa Fe that got tear gassed. Mm-hmm. That was 150% DIY. One of the reasons that it got so bad is because the booker didn't expect 1,000 kids to show up out of nowhere.
Right.
Which could easily happen at 7C or Glitter City or anywhere.
Aaron Say is amazing.
Aaron just amazes me, and he's a hell of a guy.
Mm-hmm. But he knows how to plan for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And yeah.
I mean, what he does for kids and what he does for the DIY scene, and then what he does, he's had the vibrators in there, for crying out loud.
Exactly.
Like, he does a great job. So, huge fan of that. So anyways, next song?
Yeah, let's do it. Actually, we're going to send this one over to, I believe, the East Coast. It's a band called 1916. This one's called For Whiskey, and it's off of Last Call for Heroes.
You'll never guess who I met there. The rabbi with the fire red hair. By the name of L'chaim O'Brien.
Raise your Manischewitz and stiffy bartender. Chad, Stein, Shalosh, our baby.
He asked me if he should recite a sermon.
Should I recite a sermon?
Young lad, you look like you're in need of light.
You're in need of light, Bubby.
I smiled politely, shook my head, said I wasn't really interested.
Nah, man.
He said, how about if I buy you a pint? Well, in that case, he goes by the L'chaim O'Brien. He likes drinking beer, smoking pot. So that's another joint brew and take away a beer or two. Make this night another you forgot. Out my ulcer. He talks about the war and such, and how he fought the Patriots, and how Tom Brady is a fucking cunt.
Bastard.
He said 9/11 lies, American is apple pie, and the jackass fellas faked all of their stunts.
Except for Ryan Dunn, he really did that last one. No, I know it's important. I'm sorry. No, I know Sam Margera's dead too. I mean, is he? No, he's just sober. Same thing.
He goes by the L'chaim O'Brien. He likes drinking beer, smoking pot. So that's another joint brew and take away a beer or two. Either that or get you fucking shot. He goes by the L'chaim O'Brien. But you can always call him ladies' man. He may not be a hipster, but he's just a fucking asshole. Ladies say he's huge in Japan.
Oh, you so big and circumcised? I'm a lucky lady.
Oh, arigato. Suck on me mas.
I'll never forget what he told me.
What'd he tell you?
Though he probably forgot within days.
1 or 2 days tops. You know he's Irish.
He said that life's too short for hate. Instead, do drugs and masturbate and be mindful of how you waste your days. Nailed it! He said, whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. He said, whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. He said, whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. Whoa on the woes. He goes by the L'chaim O'Brien. He likes drinking beer, smoking pot. So that's another joint brew and take away a beer or two. Make this night another you forgot. And make this night another you forgot.
We're back, and that was People Corrupting People, L'chaim O'Brien. Again, this is Skabones. One of the reasons I chose to throw this song on is this song is about basically anyone being able to celebrate whatever the hell they want. And you may never know. You could go down to Israel and see a redheaded Jewish guy at the bar. You may go down to Costa Rica and see a redheaded Jewish guy down there at the bar. Anyways, it's more or less just a fun, happy song. PCP is one of our favorite local Denver ska bands, and they are about just as crazy as their songs, and I absolutely love each and every one of those guys.
Well, what's that whole thing? Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly.
I mean, I call it amateur hour.
Well, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Denver, I think of as far as like our celebrations go, I honestly think that we're right up there with New York, Chicago, Boston. I mean, I know we're not on those levels, but I think as like a smaller big city, we're close to them. Mm-hmm. And the problem is, though, the Fidos party's gone now, and now it's been replaced by EDM DJs.
Right.
And that's really irritating. And actually, one of the first St. Patrick's Day parties that I went to for Denver, the Under a Blood Red Sky band, they're a U2 cover band. The late Billy Bunting, who tragically recently passed away, I saw him at that show, and I was like, you know what, this is so cool. And I'm not a huge fan of U2, but he actually made me kind of like them, believe it or not.
Oh, I love U2. But I've been going to U2 shows since I was a wee lass. A wee bonny lass.
I've never seen them. The one show that I had tickets to, they actually canceled and made it a year later, and I was like, I just sold my tickets. I was like $200 tickets.
You may not know this, but Joshua Tree was released on
That's
my
right.
birthday.
Yep. Well, and I'm sure then you've seen U2 live at Red Rocks. Mm-hmm. Oh, so good, so good.
So my aunt used to work for a radio station. I don't even know if anybody else besides me is old enough to remember this, but she used to work for KAZY.
Oh yeah, 106.7
Yeah.
KAZY.
Yeah, so I got to go, like, even as a kid.
Wasn't
we
Uncle
got to
Nasty
go
like back on that a long time? I think he was.
before he went to KBPI.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so she was one of the program directors, so I got to go to shows all the time, even as a little kid, and I'd be like, hey, look at me. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I got to do that.
You know, the one U2 song that I love, and I'm sure everybody would love to disagree with me. The nice thing is, only Lala can disagree with me, actually, is Out of Control.
Oh, I love Out of Control.
And it's, I think, from what I've read, with that song, they were actually trying to piss off their record label because they felt like they weren't getting enough money. And they're like, well, we're going to give it a punk rock sound and stray from the pop sound. So who knows?
I think I hum that in my head every Monday morning when it's cold outside.
Well, and that show Live at Red Rocks was actually shot in, I think, June or July.
July,
And
yeah.
and in Denver, it was only 28 degrees that day.
So I went camping one time on the 4th of July up on Independence Pass, and we got so much snow we had to throw our shit in the car and go.
Oh my God.
And we got snowed out because all we had was like summer gear and it was so cold.
It happens. I actually got stuck in Aspen in late June, I think, one year. We got stuck up there. We were going over not Loveland Pass, but over I-70 before it drops down into Glenwood Springs. And it was freaking June.
Yep.
It was 90 in Denver.
Yep. I just realized how cheesy we were though. We went camping on the 4th of July on Independence Pass. Wow.
You guys all wearing American flag bandanas.
Right?
America! Took a Jeep!
Woo! So funny. All right, so let's do another song. What are you thinking about?
All right. So this is the last one that's actually on Skabones' list for tonight. You guys might know this band. They're Seattle-based. We actually reviewed their first album, which was The View from the Bottom, maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And they just came out with their new album, which is Under Tension. It's The Drowns with One More Pint.
Another day, I just wanna forget. Got the foreman breathing down my neck. I'm watching the clock as the minutes just creep on by. Every day the walls of this factory are looking more like jail bars to me, and I'm burning through my life to make my rent. But don't get me wrong, 'cause I'm proud of what I've done, but I deserve a night of not living under the gun. So I'm headed up to Airport Way with a beer boys every day, and I'm gonna knock them down till my problems just go away. One more pint tonight, one more pint, and I'll be alright. I live by the hammer, die by the pen. I sign my life away, but I can't get ahead. I'm stuck in this routine until I'm dead. With grit and spit, I make it through this shit. 55 hours at a worker's wage. The check's already spent by the time I'm paid.
So, do we have any events or anything coming up you want to talk about?
Holy moly, we've got a buttload.
I like the Drowns. I think was it me that did their review?
You might have.
I think I did.
You might have.
I really like them. They're pretty good.
Their new album is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's one of those that I'm going to probably be listening for the next 20 years.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I will remember
for sure.
how much I love it.
Definitely. No, I will too. Which makes me want to let you guys know that if you want one of your songs or something featured, just hit us up. Please don't Facebook us. If you could hit us up in the DMs, that would be much better.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit there and scroll back through Facebook going, oh, I want to use that song. Pretty much, let me put it this way. That will exclude you from being on the show. You put it on the page, it's not going on the show. You put it in the DMs, I'm all over it.
And or email it to us at contact us at coloradopunkrockarmy.com. Again, contact us at coloradopunkrockarmy.com. So I don't know if this event will make the publication of this event, but over at Globe Hall on March 7th, we've got some awesome bands. All My Friends Are Skeletons. So they're actually playing with Piggy and Right Before Rain, which is a Pearl Jam tribute band as well. I myself am not a huge fan of tribute shows, but I'm actually really looking forward to this one. Just due to the amazing amount of talent that's going into this production.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get on to some CPRA actually shows that we've got going on. We've got quite a few as well coming in on March 17th, actually. This one will be over at the Lion's Lair. It's the St. Patrick's Day show. It's going to be Jail Pocket, A Little Off, and Black Market Translation. That's at the Lion's Lair. More than likely $5. It hasn't really been decided yet, but it's also St. Patrick's Day, so you can drink up on that one. We've got a free show Saturday, March 21st, 9 o'clock, Three Kings with the Rage Tones from Pueblo, Shotgun Shogun from Wyoming, and Denver's Pleading Guilty. And another one I'm super excited for. This one's a hell of a wicked lineup. Friday, March 27th, 9 p.m. at Three Kings. We have Dryer Fire, Filthy Hearts, and Some Kind of Nightmare. That show might get a little packed, so be sure and get there very, very early. I must mention as well that Crimson Riot will be touring back through, hopefully in July, if you happen to miss this show. Looks like, Lala, you got anything about, what about the kids are all right? Anything like that?
Well, actually, it's not our show, but on the 14th at 7th Circle, the Amazing Flying Dumbasses and Worthless Commodity are not celebrating, but they're doing their split EP release. And so they're going to have that on the 14th. And then the Kids Are All Right are actually taking a break for March because I don't know if I've mentioned it's my birthday.
Oh, yeah, congrats. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thanks. I don't feel like hurting cats on my birthday. I love you, cats. I'm not going to hurt you. And then, so we'll be coming back in April, and it'll be the third Sunday in April, and we'll have more to come on that in April. So yeah. So speaking of Amazing Flying Dumbasses, I think we're gonna go into Amazing Flying Dumbasses. Would you? And this is off of their album called Bruised. I like that song a lot. Actually, it used to be my favorite song of theirs, but when they do the EP release, my new favorite song is on that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Excited
so-
to hear it. I love me some AFD.
So
And guess what, AFD? I still love Schlotzky's.
no, I'll figure out how to edit that out.
It's like our ongoing joke. You need to listen to Bruised and the song
hmm
I Hate Schlotzky's, or it's just Schlotzky's?
Just Schlotzky's.
Schlotzky's.
It's just funny. Brad from the Hacks does it to him all the time too. Every time he sees Benny, he's like, "I love Schlotzky's."
You just don't know the feeling until you've driven clear out to DIA and you're starving to death and you're like, oh, Schlotzky's.
It's so fucking nasty, though. Ugh.
I like it.
It's
I like
plastic.
it. Anyhow.
Speaking of the Hacks, how about a little bit of Senator from 3 Chord?
Aren't they playing in Breckenridge?
Oh no, Crested Butte.
Crested Butte. When is
Yeah,
that?
March 21st. They're doing that Punker Than You benefit. Them and so the two bands I know from up here, them and the Queen City Centers are going down there to do that benefit. So it's a little
Cool.
bit of a haul, but it'd be worth it
Maybe
to go.
some local bands in that area as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
so-
awesome. Punk show in the mountains. So,
Yeah, for
hell
sure.
yeah.
A little snowboarding during the day, little bands at night. You can't beat that.
Well, hell no.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's do Senator from the Hacks, and it's on 3 Chord Cliche.
Never gave Republican senator. Straight out
Gotta love the Hacks. They are a solid band.
Talk about a front man.
Oh, Brad is great.
Brad, I remember when Andy and I first started talking to Brad, and this was, gosh, at what the Rancid Festival, what was it? Scallywags.
Oh, yeah.
Not last summer, but the summer previous to that. That was actually where I ran into Cruz as well. Yeah, I was enthralled by Brad. I was like, man, this guy's cool, and I really want to check out his band.
Mm-hmm.
The simple fact that they're all really down to earth guys, and to me, being a rock star, it's about being a good person as well, and just being cool. A great example I have where I met somebody. You got lucky. You met was the guy from the Dickies, right? You met Blog, but did I say his name right? Blog.
Blag Dahlia.
But I also met Mike McCooligan at Scruffy Murphy's.
Oh, I've met him too.
About 10 years ago, and he wasn't very nice to me. And not that he was like mean, but I didn't look like he was feeling well, and he had a sore throat, and I was just like, okay. But I didn't really go, oh, he's a jerk. I was just like, yeah, he might be having an off day. But honestly, sometimes you'll meet somebody who you just think is the shit, and they actually are shit, like as people. Like when you sometimes, and we all have our good days and bad days. There's just some artists out there that everybody knows they're assholes, and
Brad and Jason and the boys are not. And they are basically, so they were like my first Colorado Punk Rock Army assignment. Do you remember that?
That's right. I do completely.
Yep. It was the first review. The Bourbon Brawlers, I think, was my first review.
Yeah,
and then the
right.
Hacks was my next review.
Correct.
And then they had a show after I did their review. And then they had a show later that night at Streets. And I went up and I introduced myself to Brad, and I told him, what I was doing there and who I was with and blah, blah, blah. And it was like at that moment, he was like, no worries. We're going to take care of you, and we're going to help you through all of this. And it was because I was so nervous. It's like my first time, out, as a representative of Colorado Punk Rock Army or whatever. And at that point, Brad and Jason were like, no, we're pretty much just going to take care of you. And you're our girl now.
That's awesome.
They're one of the best bands. And then, so if you don't know, Colorado Punk Rock Army also has a skate team.
That's right. Yep,
and
we do.
One of the people that the skate team likes to go skate with, seems to end up skating with quite a bit outside of like Brad. They skate with Brad, and they skate with the guys from Dryer Fire, and they've skated with Queen City, and just anyways, it's fun to watch them get to skate with bands and talk to them and everything else. That's a lot of fun. But Matt from Chew Through comes and skates with us a lot too. He is amazing. He can skate and do BMX and hella tricks. It's crazy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good. Which brings me to my next song is...
Well, before you go into that song, talk a little bit about... Because Matt was also in another band.
Yeah, he was in the Lurchers.
And I love them too, but they had a bit of a falling out. And now he's back with Chew Through.
Yeah, and they're so heavy. I love it.
Chew Through is the thrash we desperately need in 2020.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like thrash is but I mean, it's coming back.
I think so.
But it's like that weird crossover where it goes thrash to like hard Cro-Mags hardcore.
Yeah. No, I think crossover in general sort of was that way in the beginning anyhow.
True. True.
I mean, you could call Cro-Mags like I would say they were more of a crossover, and then throughout releasing of their albums, they became more hardcore. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, anyways, Chew Through Heavy Hands EP, and the song I like is Heavy Hands off of the EP. All right, and then for my last song, speaking of the skate team, is Brouhaha, and their drummer Max Arbus also skates for Colorado Punk Rock Army skate team. Because he too has hella tricks.
I love Max. Every time I see him, but he's always brings this energy to whether it's his shows, anything that he does. That's just like you can feel it coming in the door, and that's an energy that I feel like I lack all the time. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go into work today. I'm gonna kick ass. Oh wait, I get there and I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm out.
Yeah. I love Max. Max is larger than life. He is almost like an animated character sometimes. He's just so funny and personable, and he's just an all-around good guy. Actually, all the guys in Brouhaha are really nice. You know, Kyle and Madsen and all those guys. They're great. Max just has that certain
he has that spunk, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to say spunk and Max. They're kind of
okay.
Kind of weird. You could
Time to
probably
stop.
get rid of that, actually.
We love you, Maxie. So, anyways, with that, I wanted to, in light of us doing our St. Patrick's Day show,
That's right.
I thought it would be good to
Cilantro.
do, something up from Brouhaha off of Drunken Pogo Noise EP, a little beer run.
Sounds good.
Let's do one. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us on our inaugural show.
It was fun.
It was a good time.
I had a great time.
Yeah, me too.
I really want a beer and a pot of gold and a little leprechaun to keep by my side right now.
Right?
Well, I don't want to be a fake plastic patty, though.
I'm the leprechaun.
No, I'm the leprechaun.
So we're going to shoot for once a month, and then hopefully if we can get our poop in a group, or our shit together, as it were,
Yes.
we'll try for every other week.
That's right. And stay tuned. Remember, you can catch us on Facebook. We're also up on YouTube and Instagram right now, and also at ColoradoPunkRockArmy.com. And remember, we're based off of donations, so we're here as long as you can afford it.
Maybe people will pay to make us go away. $500 and we'll go away. Yep. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Keg of Miller Lite.
Ooh.